Those of us that are together in the Dulles office, you know, I take up the entire left-hand corner next to the printer, and I lay everything out. And I start by pulling out, and I will say, Liz knows, I'm a big fan. If you are not using the unibinders, to me, it's a detriment to the presentation and your first impression that you make. When I walk into a listing appointment and I show someone this, and I tell them, by the way, I've taken the liberty to point out, to make some commentary, and to fold over the pages that are critical of everything that we're going to be discussing today, and I put this on the table, it's going to beat the person that came in before you or after you with the stapled copies or with the manila folder. No question. So again, for me, everything has a purpose. So I get my unibinder, I start laying out all of my information. I start with printing out the listing presentation and printing out any personalized pages, which we all have, and if you don't, you can chat with Liz. She's more than happy to do that for you. I then go ahead and start printing out any property-specific data. My tax record, any previous history on the sale of that property. If that property has sold once or it's sold 10 times, I want to know about it. I want to know when, I want to know how long it was on the market, I want to know what they paid for and what the subsequent sellers sold for. I want to know everything I can know. Then I pull my RBI or my RPR data, which we're going to talk about as well. Melissa's going to go deep on that. And then I start printing out my comps. When I print out my comps, I'm going to show you exactly what are the pages that I use. The listing presentation can be overwhelming. The CMA can be overwhelming. The amount of data that's at your hands can be overwhelming. But data gives us power. Knowledge gives us power, and the data makes us look like we are on top of our game. To me, we all know what our strengths are. To me, I'm very comfortable with data, very comfortable with numbers, so I focus the bulk of my presentation on really capturing my seller at that moment when we're talking about data and when we're talking about marketing. Those are the two places where I spent the bulk of my time. When I run my comps, I like to look, I'm a person that knows the goal and starts with the end in mind. So I tend to back into my presentation. I start from macro to micro. So I start from a year, what has happened again, like properties. So I'm not running 800 properties in a community. I'm running like properties, and then I run it not 9 months, and then I run it for 3, and I see where is the best data to tell my story. Because that's really what we're talking about here is you have a story to tell to get the job. What all of this data, all of these resources that we have in front of us, what can we do to best tell our story? Whatever sequence of data it is that tells my story, that's what I'm using. Okay?